Alright, sorry. My phone battery died, and then it overheated, so I had to let it sit before I could make this, which I'm getting ready to play Red Dead Redemption 2. The telephone chairs for my dog. Well, dogs. Because they go around outside and their paws get muddy, and I don't like them being on my bed muddy. So, anyway, um, overall for the game, Battlefield, not Red Dead, Battlefield. For Battlefield 5, I feel like it's a good game. It's worth looking into. It's worth at least renting and giving it a look. I tried to show it off as much as I could without being too long about it. You saw most of a game, which, by the way, I know it cut out because of the fucking phone. But, we lost. like, their team just, like, got their shit together last fucking minute. Got tired of fucking getting their shit pushed in off of Alpha. And my team went full retard. And, yeah, they basically just ran up on us and planted all the explosives. And somehow it was the only one defending 2 explosive points. I was like, how is this even working? But whatever. I was pissed off. but so you missed me rage a little bit, but that's about it. No one cares to hear people rage. It's as entertaining as it may be sometimes. Overall, uh, the the game's pretty solid. It's much more solid than any other Battlefield, especially on release. The beta was surprisingly solid as hell. Every other Battlefield I've ever played, its beta was just shit. Like, absolute shit. And it's just like, and I still bought the game. And I was just like, why to buy this game? Gave it a chance, though. They eventually became good. But they usually release with like 4 maps, so this game actually releases with 8, which is pretty good for Battlefield. Especially going down the route that they were starting to go. It felt like they were just starting to market to a casual gamer. And I feel like that's the majority of the people who are ranting and raving about Battlefield is the casual gamer, and then also the people who are into the more modern side, like Battlefield 3 and 4. Which, if you don't like World War 1 and 2, why the fuck are you playing the game? Why even bother complaining about it? That's just dumb. But whatever. Don't have to buy it. But I recommend renting it, giving it a chance. It implements a lot of new mechanics into the game. The game itself, like the way it feels and everything, is different from previous Battlefields. Like, you feel more. Best way I could put it is that you feel more human. Like, your character doesn't feel like he's sliding as he runs, and it doesn't feel like you're just like sliding around with a camera that's jumping like this. It's, you actually feel like you're running, and like you're the one doing the movements. Like, it feels, I'm not saying responsive, but like more human responsive. Like, it's more, the lag to it feels more human of a lag, not as like the game itself is lagging or like the mechanics are fucked up. It feels more human the way that you move around and the way that you bring the gun to your shoulder and everything. It just feels human, which is a really nice thing. Like, it I don't know how else to say it, but it feels good. I'll give it that. It feels good. Like, some people might like that style of feel to it, where it's less simulation, more arcade style movement. But for me, I like that movement style because it feels more realistic. And it gets a little annoying because sometimes you're trying to jump over like sandbag walls and you can't. Then other time, and then you'll back up and be like, "Oh, I guess I can't run over this wall." And then you'll watch one of your teammates run to the exact same wall and jump over it, and you're like, "The fuck?" So it gets irritating that way sometimes. Um, but overall, I mean, other than little stupid shit like that, the game's really fucking solid. It's a really great game. I recommend at least renting it, checking it out. You can watch the rest of these videos if you haven't watched them. There's part 1 and part 2. It's broken into sections because of the way that my phone breaks it down and the way that I have to upload it to YouTube. I can't upload large files onto YouTube because I don't feel like, upgrading my YouTube. So, anyway, what else is there to say? I'm just trying to remember everything that I covered in the video. So with my reviews, like all my reviews really, I try to show off the game as much as possible. It results in really long ass reviews, but I would rather my reviews be long and for you to see the game and actually understand the mechanics of the game and how the game works. So I play the shit out of the game firsthand and get some real experience in it instead of doing a review day of release because I played it 2 days beforehand. Like, to me, that's not enough to actually have the knowledge to review a game. And you can see it in like some reviews for certain websites. I'm not going to name any of them, but I'm sure we've all seen them. But like certain websites will put out reviews that it's like, did you even play the game? Like, did you get through the tutorial and then stop? And that's really irritating to me. It's just like, you're gonna trash a game based on how the tutorial was. Like, that's not how that works. The tutorial sucks. The tutorials always suck. There's very few games that have tutorials that are like, this was awesome, because they don't really exist. There's like 2 games. I can't even think of one off the top of my head. I mean, the best tutorial I've gone through, like the funnest one, was probably Dark Souls, but it wasn't even a good tutorial. It was basically like trial by fire. It's like, here, fight this fucking demon. You're just like, what? And it doesn't tell you, hey, if you run through this and go to your left, there's a door. So it took me fucking forever because I was trying to fight that goddamn demon. Got my ass kicked every time, and I got pissed off and left the game. I was like, fuck this shit. I talked to one of the guys I was talking to, and I was just like, how the fuck do you beat this demon? And they're like, oh, you're not supposed to fight it the first time. You go past it to the left. And I was like, you fucking serious right now? So, fun as hell. Tutorials sucked, though. But it was fun as hell. But that's kind of how tutorials are. They can either be fun as hell and suck, or just suck. And there's very few of them that are actually like, this is fun. I love this tutorial, because it just doesn't exist. It's meant to teach you shit. Nobody really likes being taught things, but it has to be done. Otherwise, you get into the game, you're like, how the fuck do I do this? And nobody wants that, so we do the tutorial. And then when you get into a position, like if you can skip the tutorial, everyone skips it, and then they go, oh shit, I should have done the tutorial. And so that's why the tutorials usually suck. And then they make reviews based on the tutorial, it seems like. And it's like, you're a fucking idiot. I hate you. Just play the goddamn game. It's a good game. Just play it. Or they just don't pay attention to the tutorial and they make mistakes. They're like, you're a fucking noob. Like, you can't even read the shit that pops up on your screen. Like, a lot of the issues that people are having in Rockstar is Red Dead Redemption 2. And they're online. It's like, people don't read. It's just like, how are you going to play this game and not read the shit that pops up on your screen? Like, are you serious right now? And then you're going to bitch about it. Really? Like, they had to post... Like, Rockstar had to go out of their way and post up how to do certain things that were told to you in the game. Like, pay attention, motherfucker. But, yeah, so I tried to make my reviews as detailed as possible. Obviously, I get sidetracked pretty often. I don't edit my videos. They're usually either a cell phone or they're on Xbox. So when they're edited, it's usually on Xbox. And Xbox's shit sucks, which is why I did this on my cell phone. But my cell phone also breaks down into 22 minutes and 19 seconds, to 22:20, somewhere in there, roughly 19 or 20 seconds into it, whatever. But that also means that, I have to make my video, like, it doesn't cut and stop, so I keep talking. So it's a little irritating because I don't realize I'm hitting that point unless I'm actually actively looking at it, and usually I'm not. So it results in me having to make parts and then sections. But part one is basically me going over the menus and how all that shit works, the customization, the store, and all that crap. Part two is the gameplay, which I tried to show as much gameplay as I could. And then this is the end of part two, which is me basically giving an overall review of it all. And more or less, storyline sucks. I'm really disappointed in the storyline, but Battlefield was never really about story or anything like that. Some of the earlier Battlefields didn't have a story at all. They were straight up multiplayer. And it just sucks that they went from, like, Battlefield 1 had probably one of the best storylines out of any of the Battlefields I've played. Like, I've played 3, 4, Hardline, Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5. I loved Battlefield 1's storyline. And I was really hoping for this great storyline. And they didn't give it to us. They gave us a shitty storyline. And I was just like, why? Why? So it was dumb. They also didn't release all of the story because they wanted to release something separate to introduce, like, the Armored Warfare map. But I was hoping that the Armored Warfare would actually have, like, a map set. Like, these maps are for Armored Warfare, and it'd be like its own game mode. Instead, it's part of the Conquest mode, I guess. I don't know. That's a little dumb. I like Armored Warfare, but it's probably just like a trial thing. How many people actually want to play this map and actively try to play Armored Warfare? I hope they introduce hardcore, like a legit hardcore. Storyline sucks, but whatever. I can overlook that. Nobody sits there and plays Battlefield for the storyline. I mean, actively plays Battlefield for the storyline. They don't really have tank customization or airplane customization, which, I mean, to me that kind of makes sense. There wasn't a whole lot of, like, that kind of shit going on. I mean, it doesn't make as much sense for airplanes because airplanes usually have, like, their showbirds. And, back then they didn't have, like, a gajillion jets, so they could have showbirds. I used to work in aviation, that's why I know about showbirds and shit. But, also, earlier I think I was bitching about the control schemes on Far Cry, and I mentioned Elrons and all that crap. Yeah, I used to work on jets. Woo! Anyway, yeah, so back then there was no such thing as, like, a showbird. This was your aircraft, and they would paint it to be unique with each other, so you could actually recognize who the pilots were, so you could see your friends and everything, and see who went down, and, all that crap. And, it's kind of weird that they don't have that, but if you go into customization, it says coming soon. It says that for tanks too, but, I mean, tanks were kind of painted, but not really. Like, it's not as big of a thing. But, at the same time, should be there. It's not. So I don't know what they're doing with that. But if taking those things out and giving them to us later made the game more solid, then fuck yeah, I'll wait for that shit. I don't need to customize my goddamn tank. I don't need to customize my aircraft. I have plenty of customization for my character, and the game is solid. And the game being solid is pretty damn important. I will give up customization for my character even if it means the gameplay is solid. And so people bitching about, the stuff missing from the game, it's skins. It's customization. It's not gameplay shit. It's not gameplay oriented. It's literally, I want to look different from everybody. Fuck you, DICE, and taking away my ability to look different. And it's just like, you're such a bitch. Fuck off. Like, you're in a war zone. Like, legitimately, we wore uniforms. That you're supposed to be uniform with people, not different from people. That's just how that works. Welcome to war, motherfucker. But whatever. We'll pretend like everybody just joins the battlefield with whatever fucking version of a uniform they want. Doesn't happen, but we can pretend. And whatever. But yeah. The gameplay's solid. That's the most important thing. It's very well balanced too, which is surprising to me. There's usually those few guns that are just like, this gun's OP as fuck, but there isn't that one gun that's like OP as fuck. There isn't that one gun that just absolutely sucks, really. Like, it really is like, what's your playstyle? Alright, here's a gun for you. And it works out great like that. And you can specialize the guns to your playstyle further, and that's really cool. I like the way they did that. And people bitching about not having enough guns. How many fucking guns do you use in Battlefield 3? I guarantee you every time you spawn in, you're not changing your fucking gun. So you're just bitching for the sake of bitching. It's like, oh man, I don't have enough t-shirts in GTA. it's like shit like that. It's just like, what does it fucking matter? Like, that's not the point of the fucking game. This is goddamn Battlefield. If it was GTA and you're bitching about how many shirts you have or how many different versions of the same fucking weapon you have because you want to paint it a certain way or whatever, I understand that. But it's fucking Battlefield. You don't need your 12,000 skins for your goddamn tank, your airplane, your fucking character, and every goddamn thing else. You don't need your 12,000 different versions of the exact same fucking gun that you have to unlock 10 levels apart from each other. Like, you don't fucking need that. You really don't. And I'm perfectly fine with only having roughly about 8 to 10 guns that I unlock with 20 levels and about 2 to 5 levels between each unlock, because it's also unlocks for sidearms for that and grenades and all that shit. And I'm perfectly fucking fine with that, because I'm not gonna use every fucking gun. The only reason I've used every gun in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 is simply to say that I've done it. It's just to see what the gun has and get all the customization for it, despite having multiple versions of the same fucking AK. I can't take the fucking bipod off of one AK and put it on the other, even though they're built exactly the fucking same and they're designed to do that. I can't do it. I have to level up the AK for some reason. So, it's really dumb. So I like that they don't have the 12,000 different versions of the Guerre or 12,000 different versions of like any other fucking gun. Like, I'm glad that this is the gun. You modify it by getting specializations. You level up and you specialize it to your playstyle. I like that. It also comes with different sights. So you can have iron sights. You can have your 1-time zoom or 2-time zoom, depending on the gun, really. And you have those available to you right from the start. So nobody has some unfair advantage just because they fucking happen to use the gun and they've been playing the game since day fucking one. Or like me, where I was able to play it a few days in advance. So, yeah. The game's very solid. The shit that people are bitching about that's missing from the game is customization. And when they bitch about guns, they're just bitching about shit just to bitch about it. The guns are very diverse for each individual class even. And there isn't a gun that's OP, and it allows players to really get into a playstyle that they like. You're not forced into a playstyle, and you're not just unlocking shit just to say that you unlock something. Like in Battlefield 3 and 4 with the 12 gajillion fucking guns, and you only use 1 or 2 of them. So, the game's solid. That's probably the most important fucking part. And the second most important part, the game is balanced. So, they have a lot of maps. They have 8 of them. They have, like, every game mode they've had previously. except for Armored Warfare, which just recently they released a map for. And overall, the game's fucking great. I strongly recommend renting it at least, giving it a chance, and experiencing Battlefield for yourself. Don't listen to some stupid bullshit reviewer who just wants to sit there and trash talk it, or even a review that wants to praise it. Because overall, it doesn't deserve either. But right now, for the direction it's going, it deserves more praise than the previous Battlefields for how solid it is on release. And that's good. DICE deserves to get a nice, handshake for that. But overall, please, I strongly recommend renting the game, figuring out for yourself what you like. I try to make this review have as much detail in it as possible. So, yeah. If you like this review and you want me to review something, right now I'm unemployed, so I can totally fucking play whatever the fuck you want. So, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you want to hear a review on, and I'll do an in-depth review of it. See you later.